Welcome back to the Ancient Ruins. On today's episode of I Have Never Played, we're having a look at Fantasy Form by Buttonshy Games. It's an 18-card wallet game that plays in about 30 minutes. Now, this is not a how-to-play video. Instead, this is a general play video where I have a basic understanding of the rules and even have them off to one side just in case we need to refer them during this play. I've been wanting to get into wallet games for quite some time because the idea that a full game can fit in such a small packet and then my pocket so I can take it everywhere is very intriguing, and our first foray is Fantasy Form by Lucas Gentry. Let's get to it. How this works is, quite frankly, we need to hit the bad guy until he goes away. Problem is, he's going to hit us as well, and we don't like that. Now, the only way we can hit him is to become an elemental. I believe there are 4. There are earth, air, fire, and water somewhere in here. Each of these cards have 3 different concepts, but that's fine. We'll get to them as and when we need them because we'll be going through each of them in turn as we play. We start as an alchemist. We can't do any damage as an alchemist, so we must become an elemental before we can hit him. We want to hit him. Now, to do that, we have to buy it for 20. As this is baby's first foray into Fantasy Form, we're on the basic bitch beginners setting, and we start with 10 shards. Further playthroughs, you can have more difficulty. We start with less shards, but we're starting on 10 shards and hoping for the best. Now, how we get 20 is we buy low and sell high. So we've got life essences, martial essences, radiant essences, and shadow essences. And we have market cards that come into play every so often. So at the moment, for example, if we were to buy the martial essence, it would cost us 3 shards, and next turn we could sell it for 1. That's bad. So we don't want to do that, but that's just an idea. They're going to move down like a conveyor belt. You'll understand. You're smart. That's why you're here, to watch me be stupid. Okay, so the way this is going to work, we're going to choose whether we want to buy anything. And once we're done, it's going to move around like a conveyor belt. So it's going to go that way and then this way and then into the pile. And I'm going to make sure we just try and keep it nice and uniform. So when it comes to resetting up, it's nice and easy. If I forget, leave a note in the comments. So we've got the upgrade row. So this is where we can buy companions, we can buy artifacts, and we can buy elementals. All cost money. We don't really have money to burn at the moment. Then we have the encounter row. This is one of the most clever things about these 18 card games. It's just how many jobs they do. So we can see that we've got an artifact here, we've got an essence here, but on these cards, there's actually 4 different uses. There's actually 3 different uses. Maths. Outlands encounter, so we read the top text in this section. We've got the forge encounter in this section, and then we've got the market prices in this section. So all together, each of these cards have 5, well, technically up to 5 different uses. The elementals, unfortunately, those cards only have 4 different uses. How dare they? How dare they remove 1 use out of 5 uses on 1 card? It's very clever. I like it. Okay, so we're going to get to upgrade to an elemental, then we're going to start swinging. To do that, we need to buy and sell at different prices, and anything else will come along as we go along. In fact, no, before we dive into it, let's go over who we are. We're an alchemist, and basically our power is you may not attack your rival if you have this form. Boo. We do get a torch as a starting item. Now that is an artifact once per turn. Now the turn is until the Dark Alchemist has a go. So once per until the Dark Alchemist has a go, we can have a look at this card on the back to see what's coming on the next Outlands encounter. Could be useful because then we can manipulate it with our guide because we can move the rightmost card to the left end of the ethereal row. So we can manipulate the cards that way, and it might save us if we're about to die, but we only get to do it once until the Dark Alchemist has a go, and then it refreshes. We won't be tapping because it's hard work, we'll just remember, but once until. That being said, let us begin. So to begin, we go to Outlands Encounter, A massive lockbox is movable but not unbreakable. Ooh. Gain the least expensive essence if you have a hammer or a dagger. We have neither. So that is... It's not bad, but it's not good. We didn't gain anything, but we didn't lose anything. So that's okay. Forge encounter. A feral pack of beast folk are drawn to the fires of civilization. Take 2 damage if you have a torch. Now we do have a torch. Oh, so we've gone from 5 to 3. So the artifact itself is also used to track your health. Is that another card use? Are we tacking that on as number 6? Is this game just getting more and more clever? We'll find out. So we're already kind of dead, so that's not good. But let's have a look at the market prices. We can buy a Shadow Essence for 3, which we could then sell for 5. That's good. That's a profit of 2. Now we could buy a Life Essence for 4 and sell it for 4. Not really worth it. Radiant Essence, 9 for 11. It's a lot of money when we've got 10 and Tony gain the 2. I'd rather just get the other one, the Shadow Essence, which is going to give us, well, the same amount of profit, but leave us some cash just in case. Okay? Because I can sneakily see what's coming up here, and we're about to take a hit. So we might want to buy a Life Essence just to discard it to heal, which is not good because instantly we're eating into our profits. That's 4. So I think we're going to have to do this. We're going to have to buy a Life Essence, and we're going to have to buy a Shadow Essence. We're going to sell the Shadow Essence later. We can carry in our current form 2 items, and that is the end of our first go. I did look to see what's coming, so I am aware we're going to take damage. So I'm going to wait to take the damage, and then I'm going to discard that to heal. Now, how the next turn happens is we turn over, we move. In fact, we should check the top first. You check the top first. If there are less than 2 items left, it's Dickhead's turn. We've got 4, we're good. So everything moves down 1. This turns over. So now we've got a new artifact that's available. That's now our market price. That's now our forge encounter. And this is our outland encounter. And we've got 3 items left at the top. Good. So Outlands encounter. Strangely, the Outlands are peaceful and calm. Travelers venture forth. You may hire an available companion for 2 fewer shards than their listed cost. And in fact, we should have gone down to, let me just double check. I forgot to do the funds. 3 and 4, so we should have gone down by 7. So we're down to 3 shards. So already we're not in a good space because we're going to lose money. We're just losing money. So not the best. Not the best. Right. So we can buy a new companion if we want. So this one gives us all the different symbols that might come up throughout the game. That could be useful, but we can't afford it yet. But we can still buy and sell things. We are taking damage very soon. In fact, we're going to take the damage now. You accidentally spring a hunter's trap. Take 1 damage unless you have what that symbol is. Have a look. That one. It could be... I'm going to call it dexterity. I don't know what it is. It's now dexterity. So we take yet another damage. We are hurting. So we are going to discard the Shadow Essence. Oh, sorry, the Life Essence. We're going to discard the Life Essence. And we're going to heal 3. We're back up to full health, but we are kind of doomed with money. But we are going to sell the Shadow Essence. So that goes back into the row and gets us 5 money. We're up to 8. So after that ingenious market trading, we have made -2 gold. This is going well. Well, we're going to buy the Martial Essence for 1 because we might as well buy something. These move down. Radiant Essence is super expensive. We don't want that. Now, that would have been good to be here. We would have made lots of money, but it's not going to come round that way. So that is the end of our turn. That's all we're doing. Are there less than 2? No. Moving on you go bye-bye. You come here, you come here. You do a twisty, Sword of Siphoning. Heal 2 damage each time you damage a rival. That's amazing. I want that. I can't really afford it, but I'm probably gonna buy that anyway. And we have our new encounter. So these go up. Right. Next, a restorative spring bubbles with otherworldly heat. Gain 2 shards of at full health. We are at full health. We go up to 9. Amazing. Best at games. You fail to notice the hole developing in your pack until it's too late. If you have more than 1 essence in your pack, lose 1. We've got 1. We're fine. We're the best at games. And finally, the market prices are no good to us. In fact, they're really bad to us. We could buy the Shadow Essence because it's super cheap. But at this precise moment in time, I'm not overly bothered about it. We will, however, buy the Sword of Siphoning for 5. I might come to regret that. So we go from 9 to 4. And how this works is we just trade them out. So the Sword of Siphoning goes there. That might be super useful later in the game when we're hitting this guy. Now, less than 2. No, we move on. So everything moves down 1. Turning over. Water has appeared. I'm trying to keep this tidy. I really am. I'm just not very good at it. And then we twisty over this one, and we've got new market prices. Lovely. Okay, on to the Outlands encounter. Inexperienced goblins set up an ambush on the far side of the rope bridge. Pay 2 shards unless you have a leaf or an axe. I've got an axe. Yeah. Forge encounter. Raiders carry elemental bane weapons. Strike without warning. Take 1 damage or 2 if you have an elemental form. We don't have elemental, so we only take the 1 damage, and we then sell the martial essence for 3. Lovely. So that takes us up to 7. So far, we are doing atrociously. We need to get to 20, and we are at -3 from where we started. Now, do we want to buy anything? If we buy anything, we trigger the end of this round, and then I'll go through what happens then. It's not good. It's not good. But if we don't buy anything, what's the point? Okay, we're going to buy the Shadow Essence. That might be worth some money later. So this moves up. End of our go. The less than 2. Yes. So we discard the remaining upgrades, and for some reason it wants us to do it in this order, but it doesn't matter because we're going to shuffle them anyway before we put them all out. But it wants us to do them in that order. Find the first elemental from the discard. So it is fire. This guy becomes fire. Oofed. He does 2 damage every time he attacks us. Every time. And he is going to attack us right now. So if your turn... Is it now? I don't think it is. No, it's not now. He has an elemental form now, but it isn't now. On next turn, he's going to come swinging at us, I believe. Let's just double check. Rival phase. Again, 1 from the... Yes, so he doesn't attack us now. So we're okay. If we can get 20 shards and an elemental form, we're in a good thing because he'll hit us for 2, but then we'll heal for 2. So, yeah. And we have to hit him 5 times. So we not only need 20 to get the forms that we need 20 to kill him. Ruh-roh. Okay, shuffly, 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 shuffle. Shuffle, shuffle. And we begin with, let's try and get this in a nice order. We've got a healer. Healer's good. Healer's kit. Whenever you are healed, increase healing by 1 point. Then we have our... I will sort these out momentarily because they are going way too far that way. But let's just quickly adjust them like this and we are good to go again. And then we have our marketplace, so turn them around. Radiant Essence, Earth, so we know Earth's coming eventually, Life Essence, and Shadow Essence. Okay, now market-wise, yes, this is going to sell really, really expensive. And then we've got 2 more. Right, so we need to get as much money as we can. That's 12. That's going to get... Ooh, we might be in a really good position later. But until we get there, a massive lockbox is immovable but not unbreakable. It's the same one. Gain the least expensive essence if you have an axe. We've got neither of those. It's a hammer or a sword, and we've got a key, maybe, a star, and an axe. Unfortunately, we get nothing. A rejuvenating wind blows out across the lands, carrying the sound of distant battle. Gain 1 available martial essence, or... That's just a free 3. Or I could heal 1. I'm going to take the martial essence. I am taking the martial essence. I could have healed, but I'm taking the martial essence because we're desperately in need of money because we're about to get hit. So, these move down. We then can sell. We are going to sell our Shadow Essence. Shadow Essences do come super cheap later, so we might look into buying them then. But we sold that for 5, so we go up to 12. Yeah, good. We're not going to sell the martial essence. We're going to keep the martial essence until the next one. Is anything else worth buying now? No. But if we buy... So there is a little bit of something that I did notice in this game, which is a little bit janky, maybe. So if you buy an essence, I believe you can buy and sell as many times as you want in... Yeah, so if you buy, you may buy and resell a given essence within the same turn. You gain the place it to the leftmost ethereal thing. So we could buy the Radiant Essence. Okay, this is where the jank comes in. We could buy the Radiant Essence. We know that's going to become super, super good later. If we buy the Radiant Essence, okay, that's 11, zunk. No, that's 9, sorry. Either way, it doesn't matter. Because we may buy and sell as many times as we want in the same turn. Okay? So this is a way that you can kind of break the market. So we're now going to we're going to sell it back. We're going to get our 12 back. And the Radiant Essence is now at the end. That's good because that is really going to get us some money. Quite frankly, it's going to really get us some money. We want to keep that for later. It's a little bit of a cheeky way of doing it, but it's in the rules, so I'm going with it. Okay, we are done. What happens is, we know what happens is, we're going to smoosh up the entire row, but that's fine. We're going to move everything down. We've got air. Now air, I kind of want earth, to be honest. And earth will be with us, maybe not this turn. If we buy too many things... If we buy too many things, we might not get to Earth because that would be 1, 2, 3. So we need to survive 3 more turns to not... Oh, and then we have to obviously have money. Right, next up. A rock slide barely misses you, revealing a vulnerable treasure. Gain 2 shards unless you have water. We don't have water, so we're going to flip this over and we're going to 14. We're almost there. We are almost there. You accidentally spring a hunter's trap, take 1 damage unless you have dexterity. We don't have dexterity. We might have to buy a life potion at some point, but we are going to sell the martial essence for 3. That's going to put us up to 17. A little tiny bit more market manipulation and we're going to be good to go. We're going to buy the Radiant Essence. That's for 6, so that's going to drop us down to 11. Okay. When we sell that next turn, that's going to be sold for 11. It's putting us up to 22. It's not quite good enough because that would leave us with only 2 to then try and earn money to start hitting the guy. It's not good. Okay. But do we want to buy anything else? No, not yet. So we are going to say bye-bye to the life essence. There's nothing we can do about that. because we can't. It's too expensive to buy. It's too expensive. Okay, we might just have to risk it, you know. We'll see. We'll see how we go. We might just have to risk buying the air element because what do? You heal when you get an element, and we are running out of life. So, what would air do for us? Gain 1 shard for each point of damage you take from your rival. Take 1 damage, then discard an essence from your pack. Oh no, that's what the rival would do. Gain 1 shard. So every time he hit us for 2, we'd gain 1, which would make us a little bit. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. But we still need 6 just to do our damage and to heal. Right. We are going to go through. Strangely, the Outlands are peaceful. You may hire an available companion for 2 fewer shards than the listed cost. We don't want a companion as of yet, though we haven't really used any of our powers. That's kind of pants of me. A mindless shambler lurches in from the waist. Lose an essence unless you have a crossbow. No, that's all our money gone. Right, so that has kind of doomed us. That really has kind of doomed us. So all we can do is buy everything, I guess. No, because then we'll die. Okay, so we die? We're going to buy this one. Are we? No, we're going to buy this one. So I would buy 2 of them because then I could sell them and earn a little bit more money. However, if we do that, we trigger, we get hit for 2 and we just die. So we can't do that. But that is the end of the turn. Okay, this game is a little bit trickier than I thought it was going to be on baby's first go. Okay, I thought it might be a little bit nice to me, but apparently not. Right, so you rescue a smith lost in the waste. You may buy an artifact with a star on it. There are none. For 3 shards, gain 1 shard if there are none available. So we do gain a shard. You fail to notice a hole developing in your pack until it's too late. If you have more than 1 essence in your pack, lose 1. We've only got 1, thankfully, and we are going to sell this for 3, so that takes us up to 13. My goodness, we're on the raggedy edge. We are, unfortunately, kind of done. We're kind of done. We are going to take 2 damage. There's no health potions. Our only chance is to not buy anything and hope, and just hope, that something comes out good on this one. Let's do it. So everything moves down. This turns over. There's the earth that we really wanted and we were so close to having. Now, at the end of this turn, unless something good happens, we are dead. We are dead. Okay. Curse bent birds. This doesn't sound good. This doesn't sound good. Curse bent birds dive from above. For each essence in your pack, you either lose 2 shards or take 1 damage. We don't have any essences. We don't have any essences. We take no damage. We didn't die. An elderly gnome brandishes a hexing stave against all magical beings. If you have an elemental form, either pay 4 shards or take 2 damage. We don't. We don't. However, unfortunately, and we will play it out, we'll buy this just for the sake of buying it. That does cost us 2. I don't think it's going to do anything. It isn't going to do anything. I believe that puts us to 11. Doesn't matter, unfortunately. Now, even though we're about to take a big hit from this prick, I've still thoroughly enjoyed this game. I am going to play this again. I am going to try and get good, but we might pull it. No, we won't. This couldn't do anything. If there was a health potion there, maybe, but unfortunately, there is nothing left. So what happens here is we rotate, we take 2 damage, and we're dead. It was anticlimactic, but we're dead. Now, this I like. The fact that I can just take it away anywhere with me, I like. I do go to the seaside a lot. I like just being by the sea, which is a really weird thing to interject here. However, they've got small tables and I can have a coffee with this game in front of me, and it's fine. I can't take the big games. I can take this. This is good. If you've enjoyed this video, if you've made it this far, please do like, comment and subscribe. It really, really does help. We are trying to grow. If you're watching this and we've grown and we made it, it's down to you. Thank you. Also, just subscribe if you like Button Shy. We have many, many, many more coming, and we're going to try and make a series of them because I kind of like the concepts of them, and hopefully we can find the game. You know what I mean. If you are a nerd and you're into your solo board games, you are on the quest for the game. I'm still looking for the game, though I think it's going to be a mission that I just spend my life doing. But I'm waffling now because I've enjoyed it and we lost. If you have made it this far, it is you. It is you that make this channel worthwhile. So thank you from the very, very bottom of my heart. And until we convene again, stay good.